Hello and welcome to the Justin Hamilton podcast. On today's episode, my good friend and the fantastic comedian Josh Earl is my guest. We're going to be talking music. There's been a lot of TV and movie talk of late, and want to get back on track with the music side of things. The music that we're discovering at the moment, the music that we're returning to, the music that we realized we probably had some snobbery about us, and the delights in getting over that, and discovering artists that everybody likes and we could have been enjoying for a long time. Great chat. Josh is a super talent, and it's always fun to have him on the podcast. Just a quick reminder that my newsletter will be dropping again this Tuesday. It is a fortnightly newsletter, and it's free to sign up. You can just head to justinhamilton.com.au and you can sign up at the front of the page. You'll get an email that will confirm. Check your spam. It's always going to the spam. Move it over to the inbox, click yes, and then every fortnight you'll be getting tidbits from me, like book reviews, movie reviews, TV, etc. It's kind of an encapsulation of what we do here, which is we try to find stuff that we think you will like. And also there's things like ticket offers and stuff like that, updates on shows that I'm doing, etc. So if you would like to sign up for that, comes out every second Tuesday at 10 a.m. Just head to justinhamilton.com.au and you can become a part of our community. All right. I will swing by at the end of this podcast, but for now, let's bring in my mate, Josh Earl. One of the few friends that I still talk music with, and when things occur in the music world, or when I hear new albums or anything, I always want to discuss music with you. How has your music listening changed the further you've gotten into being a father, and I'm guessing not having a lot of control over what gets listened to?
I'm very lucky that my kids are into good music.
Yeah.
We kind of avoided the whole Wiggles thing. It was that thing of going, all right, well, I've got control of the car. Like I can put it on. And then, like with just the Bluetooth and all that kind of stuff, they can take the phone and put on whatever they want. But I remember when my eldest was in prep, they had to write a little form about them going, my name is, my dad's name is, my favorite color is, my favorite song is. And for song, he wrote Bombs Over Baghdad by Outkast. And I was like, fuck yes.
Special little fella.
Yeah. And then my younger son is really into music. I think that'll be his career. I think they'll fall into whatever, if it's recording or whatever it is. And he's in a band, and they both like Mac DeMarco. I don't know if you know Mac DeMarco is like an American kind of indie guitarist.
I know the name. I can't. Yeah.
So they both really like that. Their first concert they went to was Weezer. They're into that kind of stuff. And then my youngest will dip into a bit of like metal because he likes to be a bit angsty. So he went through a big Metallica phase.
Yeah.
Slipknot, which is like, you go, oh, is that appropriate for kids? I'm like, it's kids music. It's like it's dressing up as scary clowns and yelling about blood and Satan. It's like, this is for children.
Yeah.
It's like wrestling for kids. It's the same thing. It's like nice, cool costumes, lots of energy and anger. And that's why kids like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like I went through a Nine Maiden phase as a kid. And, a lot of their songs were, about like a guy on the battlefield, just trying to get as far as he possibly can, or it's the Phantom of the Opera, or it's all kind of big and gothic. And
well, it's really funny because he was listening to Anthrax, which for me, Anthrax was like a band that the scary kids in my town listened to. So I'd never actually listened to them, and I was very much like, I don't want to be like that. And then I listened to, this is just a punk band. This is actually really good. I actually thought it was more like hair metal, but it's like, no, this is just a punk band.
Yeah, isn't it funny the bands that we come to later? Because when we were younger, we were put off by the kids who were into that music. For me, the big one was Cold Chisel.
Yep.
where, I think I've told this story before, being up at the hi-fi bar when they used to have karaoke, and Gatesy and Scott from Tripod were singing a song, and I turned around to Gleason. I said, "What's this song?" And he said, "It's Bow River."
Yeah.
I went, "Oh." I said, "Who does that?" And he went, "Cold Chisel." And I was like, "Oh, he's saying this to me like I should know this. Hang on a second. I don't
Yep.
think I've ever listened to Cold Chisel. I've
Well,
heard it, but I haven't listened."
what I've only just come around to is In Excess.
Oh, what the heck? This is crazy. I'm
Like,
the same.
yeah, okay, yeah, great, yeah,
Yeah.
because it was when I was really getting into music, it was Oasis and all that kind of coming into it, and
Right.
Oasis famously made the comment about Michael Hutchence saying, "Has been shouldn't be giving awards out to rock stars," whatever the actual
Yeah.
quote was, and I was like, "Yeah, take that, has been." And then also at that stage, In Excess were releasing bland kind of music.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't go back and listen to Kick, and then because there was the Michael Hutchins documentary and the Kylie documentary, and he's in
Yeah.
that, and you look at it and go, hang on, this is actually incredible. Michael Hutchins
Yeah.
is possibly Australia's greatest frontman.
Yeah.
And so I went back and listened to Kick, and I was like, oh yeah, I get it. This is
Yeah.
good because saxophones were daggy.
Yeah. 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 You know what? Saxophones are great.
Yeah, a horn section in rock music is really really good,
Yeah.
and more people should do it.
I've been. It's what a funny thing to hear that you are on the same In Excess. Wait a second. I've been doing these guys a disservice.
Yeah.
Also, this is a band I've been a fan of for a long time, but I'm right back into Icehouse.
Oh, okay. So I could only tell you what Electric Blue
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm going right back to when
when they
they
were
were
called Flowers.
Flowers
Yeah,
and they released the album Ice House. And then, there's the album with Don't Believe Anymore, which has a fantastic moment with the saxophone.
okay. I'll go into it. I'll go when I'm done with NXS at the gym. I'll go into Ice House.
Yeah, you'll be wrapped and you'll
Yeah,
be really surprised by some of the stuff that comes up. There was also, how funny is this, in a period of life where you can see whatever you want whenever you want. There was an Ice House film clip for the song Dusty Pages that I saw on Countdown once, and
yeah,
it was essentially Ivor Davies dead in a coffin and people's hands breaking up flower petals and dropping
yeah.
them on him, and he'd that was kind of the basis. And I thought, wow, this is a mesmerizing film clip. And then I don't reckon I saw it again for another 25 years.
It's so funny. 'Cause I was talking about that recently because there was a documentary series called Uni, and it was on the ABC. I think it was a six-part series,
Mm.
and it was on after Race Around the World, which has
Yep.
now come back, and before the UK drama series This Life. I don't know if you
Mhm.
ever remember that.
Yeah.
And it was this thing called Uni. And I just brought it up saying, oh, yeah, no one remembers this. And then at the ABC, Mark Sutton, who's an EP of stuff at the ABC, he went, oh, yeah. And he knew all about it and said that one of the guys from The Chaser was meant to be in it and then clocked it, oh, it's going to be a hit piece and kind of left the
Right.
project. And I'm like, you've got some sway there. Put it back on, or at least put it on iView. Like, I
Yeah.
want to watch it again to see, because I was like, watched it when I was like year 10 at school. So uni was something that I was thinking about being talked about too, going, oh, if that's uni life, I really want to do that. That sounds and looks really cool.
Right. Wow. How fascinating. Yeah. Why don't
Yeah.
they put that stuff? You've
You've got the
like
archive.
you've got a whole library. Just put it all there.
Yeah.
And you know what? The weirder stuff that you have will be the stuff that will probably pop and be the stuff that draws people to
Yep.
the app.
Yeah.
Um, with the bringing up Ice House, the one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is just the price of ticketing,
Yeah.
and it's frustrating because I think Ice House are performing at the Opera House pretty soon. Massive Attack are coming
Yep.
out. I think Blue Lines is a perfect album for me, and also encapsulates a very specific period of my life
Yep.
where I used to have a five stacker CD player, and you could pick which one would be your alarm in the morning, and I would a whole summer that album woke me up.
Yep.
and Portishead's Dummy was what I went to sleep to. So it was a pretty good summer.
Yep.
But tickets are so damn expensive.
Yeah.
And also, as freelancers, we don't know when work is going to be presenting itself.
Yep.
And I worry that uh, the exorbitant prices for these bands that you really like limits who you go and see. And am I only going to go and see like one or two people a year because that's all I can really plan on?
Yeah. Well, my thing with that is that I'm not sure if the musicians are getting paid more money than they used to,
Right.
because it is that thing like the ticketing companies have got control of venues. So if you want to use that venue, you've got to use this ticketing company. Then they
Mm,
take their cut, and then it's all the premiums are higher, venue higher, all this kind of stuff. And it's just, I feel that the artist and the fan are the ones who are getting ripped off the most.
yeah.
And it's all these middle people who are getting money. And I don't know how it stops. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I was doing my live podcast, and I was hitting up venues saying, "Oh, can I do the podcast?" And like, yeah, but you've got to sell your tickets through us. Like we've got assigned on to Oztix, for example,
Right.
and yeah, and so then they take their cut, and then you've got to invoice us for the money. I'm like, yeah, but if I go through Try Booking, which is a really good company, like
Mm,
they only take 50 cents per ticket, and I
yeah.
get all the money, and I can pay you the fees to hire the thing, and I feel that's a fairer way for the artist because I'll pay the acts really well and I can keep the ticket prices lower.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, no, we'll do it through us. And so, in order for me to do these podcasts, I've got to have the ticket prices higher. I'm getting
Right.
less money. So, the people who like the show are getting ripped off. The acts who are coming on aren't getting paid what they used to.
Mm,
But some ticketing company who's just going, oh, yeah, we'll give you extra money to the bar. And it's like, so the people who go there have less money to spend at your bar. It's like,
right.
it's really frustrating. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't go to Oasis because the tickets, I couldn't justify the tickets. I'd seen them a couple of times before and was like, look, and also with them, it was like, will they actually get to Australia? Will it all implode?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't justify that cost for something that I've seen them a few times, and I can look. They were probably really great. Everyone who went and said it was incredible. When I saw them, they were really fucking great too. When they
Yeah.
were in their 20s and 30s, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's when I wanted to see them.
Yeah. The thing that's frustrating about it is every time I go to a concert, in 90% of the time I leave like feeling great about life.
Oh,
Like I saw Split Ends recently,
yep,
who, for what Tim Finn's what, 73,
yep,
but the great thing about Split Ends is they were weirdos when they were young and now they're eccentric.
yeah,
So there hasn't been like a loss in flavor. It's not like they were really, uh, you know, young, hot swagger and now they're old men and you go, oh, these songs are kind of hitting a bit weirdly. They were strange to
yep.
begin with. So, you know, they can just kind of lean into that. And seeing that concert was like a masterpiece,
Oh,
and I left there feeling absolute exhilaration for quite a few days.
well, that's the
And
thing. Seeing live music, especially, I think is the of all the art, it's the most inspirational to be an audience member. To go,
yes.
oh, this is we're in this together. It's not just us watching them. It is we are a group of people all here for the one purpose, which is to have a good time,
Mm,
enjoy the music, and it's a lot more. I mean, seeing good theatre, seeing good dance, seeing good comedy is all it's all great stuff. I'm not
mm,
saying, but something about live music, there's something more to it that you can see people having their own experiences
mm.
in the audience, but you're still a part of it.
Yeah, yeah. There's yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because there's more interaction with the people around you,
Yeah,
which is, can work against you, but especially when everyone's in thrall to what's
yeah,
happening, you can kind of feel the vibes. Like the close, it's funny because that made me think when I saw the movie Sinners at a preview at IMAX, and have you seen that film?
yes,
Yeah. So the moment where Preacher Boy starts singing and time collapses in it in itself. And I found that to be such a an exhilarating moment because it felt like a real swing by the director. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm really going for it. The music was, it's IMAX in Sydney. It's like a massive screen. The music's hitting you, and I'm one of those people who just watches a film, and I had to fight the urge to say to my friend, I wanted to kind of grab her arm and going, "Fuck, are you experiencing this?" But you could do that in a concert, but you can't do that
That
at
is
the
so
cinema.
fun because I love Sinners. I watched it at home though on my own, and that scene I didn't because everyone's like, "Oh, it's fucking incredible." For me, I'm like, and it's because it's meant to be seen in a cinema. It's this big
Yeah,
thing. Bootsy Collins comes on, and it's like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on now?"
yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
if I'm watching on my TV on my own, I'm going, "All right, yeah, I'll scroll on my phone as well." And it's like thing. It was the only part of the film that actually took me out of it.
Yeah, how interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what? You're not the first person to say that to me. And every person that I've spoken to who uh, found Sinners to be overrated watched it for the first time on television,
yeah, yeah.
which is just interesting, I
Yep. I
think.
think it's the same with One Battle After Another. I watched that. I made sure I went and watched it in the cinema because I knew, all right,
Right.
I have to watch this on a big screen because it is. And that scene where they're driving over the hills
Yes.
justified every single cent.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you feel it as
Yeah,
well as that
it was incredible. Yeah,
up and down, and yeah, like I think big movies you need to see them in their natural habitat.
yeah. It is a communal thing, and that's what all the people who are really into like your Tom Cruises and Spike Lees who are like, no, you have to see this in the cinema. It is a communal thing.
Mm,
It does make it so much better. And they're right. It's that thing of going, it's something about being part of a community really important.
yeah. Well, I think that's kind of what's killed comedic movies is because people just watch them at home and
Yeah.
you just don't laugh as much.
No, you go, oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
That seems funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for something like I've been watching Widow's Bay, and that is a TV show that I is has actually caught me laughing out loud by
Yeah, great.
myself. But that's a rarity.
Yeah.
I saw two horror movies recently at the cinema,
The back
and
rooms.
uh, Backrooms and Obsession.
My 15-year-old went to both those as well.
Oh, and
He said Obsession
Verdict.
was very scary,
Yeah,
and he saw the back rooms twice, and he really he liked it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I reckon. Did he have a preference?
It's very hard to get much out of a 15-year-old.
Right.
But I'm going to say probably Backrooms because he went a second time. He hasn't had any interest in going to see Obsession again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would take a guess that you will be the other way round.
All
I
right.
think I think Backrooms is great,
Yeah.
and but I reckon Obsession threads that needle of funny, horrific, and
Yeah.
sometimes oscillating between the two in the moment. So anyway,
All right.
I'd be curious to know what he thinks about that. If you can get any words out of
Yeah.
him
I'll
at
get him on
any
the pod
point.
next time. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like one of those things. I do want to kind of see more bands and more live music, and it's just really hard to
Yeah.
work out how you can make it happen.
The
And
last big show I went and saw was Sharon Van Etten at the Forum, and it's always great to see it at the Forum. But I'd seen her before, and this time it was like she's got a band now, and you could see the joy. I've been following her from very early on, and this time just performing, she was so much more joyous on stage,
mm,
and she even said, I want to thank this band. They've like reinvigorated me as an artist, and it was that thing of like her songs are sad, but everyone left that like venue going, I feel enlightened. It
mm.
was incredible. Such a great show, and yeah,
It's sad songs are once again if you can engage with them in a
yeah,
controlled space with other people, like
yeah,
that's a good way to connect with those feelings
yeah,
and you know get them through the system, flush them.
yeah.
Have you been listening to anything new recently?
I listened to the new Vince Staples this morning, and it's excellent.
Okay.
Vince Staples is such an interesting guy. I find he's one so smart. Like just I kind of got into him through his interviews first before I got into his music.
Oh, that's
And so,
interesting.
yeah, so he would be on The Breakfast Club and he would just be really funny, but also really insightful. And everyone always says, "Oh, you should be a comedian. You should be a comedian." He's like, "No, I don't want to be." And then, like, a couple of albums and EPs, and like, oh, okay, this is great. And then he did the two series on Netflix, The Vince Staples Show, which is a really cool little show. But then this album is actually, it's almost, you know how some bands are like, "Oh yeah, you're good, but I feel like you're not putting in 100% here. I think you're
Mm,
holding a bit back." This one, it feels like he's going all out, and it's like,
right.
nah, this is it. And like, yeah, it's. And look, I've only listened to it twice. I listened to it like this morning, and when I was at the gym, so I listened to it once while I was working out, and then once while I was walking.
Yeah.
And so I really, Genesis Owusu is another one I really like. It's an Australian hip hop artist. Um, I've been getting into a band called Wild Pink. I'm in the middle of doing my pre-show set list for my show I've got coming up,
Yeah.
and they've got a song where they mention the Washington Wizards and Bullets, and so I'm
Right.
like, all right, my show's about being a basketball coach. I'm like, all right, that's going in, that's in. So they've got a new album coming out in July, so they've been releasing a bit of stuff from that, and they're kind of like Americana indie rock kind
Hmm.
of stuff. It's good, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But when you're putting together a show, when do
yeah.
you start putting together the playlist?
When I'm trying to avoid writing it. It's that thing. It's like when you feel like I'm doing some work still on the show, so I'm not
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
slacking off, but we know it's not work.
Yeah.
And as much as I think, oh yeah, I craft this and it's going to rise here and the audience will be, the audience they're not paying attention. They're on their phones or they're talking to each other. It's like they're not realizing that, oh, all these songs have a reference to basketball in them, even
It's
though they
so
might,
funny.
yeah,
I think Tom Gleason was rapt that when he did the Hard Quiz tour, that I don't know how long into the tour it was, but someone finally realized that the word hard was in all
yeah,
the pre-show music, and he was rapt, and it is
yep,
one of those things where uh, you pick out specific music, and that one time that someone finally says to you, "Hey, that's I realize what you're doing." Um, like it makes your day.
Hey, speaking of me, this is not going to make your day. My cards just said full, so I've stopped recording. Are you recording
That's okay.
here?
We'll keep
Is that all
recording
right?
here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Sorry, mate.
Don't panic about that.
Cool.
I won't take any of this out.
Yeah, great. Sorry, listeners, for my audio.
No, no, no. It'll be great. But yeah, when people pick up on the little things that you do,
Ah,
sometimes it's like, oh, thank God you were here tonight.
yeah. So, and I know you do this. I do this as well. I do little callbacks in shows to previous shows,
Mm,
and
yeah,
when you hear people like it, you're like, oh yeah, this is good because it means that they remember the show from 2 years ago or a year ago, and
yeah,
this is a little Easter egg. And because I always love that when I was watching, like for music, for instance, if there's a lyric that relates to another song,
mm,
or like there's a band called the Hold Steady who I really
yeah,
like, and they have recurring characters to their songs. Oh, that's the Charlemagne they spoke about in this song like two
oh
albums
yeah,
ago, and it's like, and it's kind of, you're following their story of that character, and I'm like, as a fan of something, I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool because if you miss it, it doesn't matter. If you get
yeah.
it, that's a little bit for you.
Well, that was like most things in popular culture, things get ruined
Yeah,
by people overemphasizing things, or being dismissive if you didn't notice something. And that Easter eggs used to be such a sweet treat
yeah,
that if you picked up on it, it was great, and if you didn't, it's absolutely fine. And then it
yeah,
became there was just some shows and movies and all sorts of things that were produced where it's like, is this just an Easter egg hunt now?
yeah. Yeah, it's almost like they've tried to make fandom into a competition. Like who is the, and look, Taylor Swift is very smart in doing this as well. She drops
Mm,
little Easter eggs all throughout her albums and songs and artwork and all that kind of stuff. And it is
yeah,
a thing of getting the fans engaged and just going. But at the same time, it can be quite a toxic fandom.
yeah, 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 exactly. Um, I had a couple of albums that I listened to recently. One that really came out of nowhere for me was Joe Jackson's new album, Hope and Fury.
Yeah,
And it was one of those random things where it was like, ah, Joe Jackson's just popped into my head, and it was
yeah,
there was a double live album that I think my mum had. Uh, Won't You Be My Number Two? Is she really going out with him? All of those songs, and so I went through and found them and went, oh man, like this. Once again, re-listening to it, it's like, oh yeah, he had a punk sensibility while playing piano,
yeah.
and it was. A lot more percussive than I remember. He could still do the gentle stuff, but it was had a real kind of in your face energy. And then out of nowhere, the algorithm actually worked for me, and it said, "Oh, you like Joe Jackson? Here's his new album." And I thought, oh, I'll give it a go.
Yep.
And turns out he's still really good.
It's so a few years back when I was early 30s and someone I was talking about how bands, once you're not releasing any of your best stuff in your 40s. And I was
Right.
saying this to someone who was a musician in their 50s.
Right.
And he's like, dude, you're killing me here. Like, I actually think I'm doing the best. And the older I get, the more I realize, oh no, it is true. Like, you maybe they lack that kind of spark of excitement or naivety which is actually really good sometimes in songs.
Mm.
But when you listen to the song structure and actually break it and go, oh yeah, it's great when you go, they're actually doing their best work now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Don't you? But do you feel like that as a comedian?
Yeah, and that I mean that's the thing of going looking back and going the amount of dumb shit I said in my 20s and 30s on stage as well as embarrassing. I'm so glad there's not there like I didn't have like a camera phone to film it and put it up on YouTube and it just
Oh
is
my
gone. It's
God.
disappeared.
Yeah.
But I do look. I've spoken about this where I used to play songs and now I don't, and I feel like I'm a lot better now as a comedian and as a performer, and as a writer as well. And it's just I think, oh, that's what keeps me motivated to do it because I feel like I'm doing it better than I ever have, even though you can look at the numbers and go, well, look by this enough. And it's like, well, I feel I am.
Well, you have more nuance now, and you
Yeah,
have more depth of intelligence and experience, and of course, so. But once again, that's what you were speaking to about the way naivety can work for you.
yeah,
Where once upon a time you could just have some firm views,
yeah.
and now you get a bit older and you go, "Oh, should I be having those firm views? And was I
One,
right about that?" But
Once
that's
upon a time, I was just a haircut and trousers, and it was.
it
Now
was a
I've
good
got some.
haircut.
I've got some substance behind me.
Do you miss you don't miss playing music at all
As you
in
can see, I
gigs?
forgot. No, not really. Like I was when I was writing this new show. Kind of over summer, I was kind of writing a lot of short songs. I
Mm,
watched Adam Sandler special. I went, oh, that's really funny. If you just got a
mm,
joke, so I was just writing dumb jokes, which long ago would have been tweets, but
mm.
then I was just there, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll put it to music and put them up, and then did them in a few gigs, and was like, oh, it's actually a burden to take that all. And
Yeah.
I did look back about a year ago now, maybe even longer actually. I did a cruise, and they said, "Oh, you can do the cruise, but you need to play songs. You just can't go on with stand up." And I'm like, all right, I'll do the thing. And I was doing that, and then I went to grab a song, and in the audience, a guy I heard go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" When I picked up the guitar, and I was like, in my head, going, "I'm with you, buddy, but I'm contractually obliged to do this." But even that, like I had other like Dilrook was on, and he goes, "Oh, it really was like you were on a good roll. Then you played a song, it almost like you had to start again from scratch." I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, but that's what I was employed to do. That was the
Y-
job.
Yeah, there's the only like you'd have to play music from the get-go
Yeah, start with
to
a song, and yeah. So
yeah.
I but I was like, well, I want to do my funniest bits up top, but yeah, I should have.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, you live
What,
and learn.
what's the you said the new show's about being a basketball coach, but
Yeah,
can you extrapolate on that a little bit more?
yeah. So it's about like, look, it's my youngest wanted to play basketball, and I was wrapped because I'm not the kind of dad who kind of pushes my like interests onto my kids. I wanted to let them find it for themselves. I mean, it's very easy because I've got like music all around the house and guitars, or they can pick up whenever. And because I played basketball as well, and he was like, "Oh, I think I want to play basketball." I'm like, "Yeah, great." And so I
Mm.
got him into a team, and I found out very quickly that I'm a pretty intense parent, like very positive, but I
Yeah.
was really into it. Where most other parents are just on their phones the entire game, I'm like really like getting into it, and
Well, you're actually watching the game.
yeah. And then
Yeah. Wow.
his coach was just a 15-year-old girl. She was lovely, but her whole thing was just saying, "Go get it, go get it." I'm like, "You're not actually coaching anything." And so Henry wanted to quit. So I was like, how about if I coach? And he goes, yeah, I'll stay if you coach. And so I coached him for a season, then he quit. And I was like, well, I'm loving this, so I'm going to coach. And so then my eldest son started playing at the same time, and he was really good. And his coach was also he had one coach was fine, but he left, and then I coached, and he's going under 16s, and I went, oh, I'll let him have a different coach because it's best to be coached by a bunch of different people. And then the coach he had was not good, and so it was pretty much a mutiny, and I took over again. And so I now it's but because my dad was my first coach as well, and
Ah.
he was a good coach in terms of like he on the drive home he didn't discuss anything bad that we did. It wasn't like, oh, next time do this. It was just like, oh, did you have fun? Great. And
Mm.
if we lost, he would be like, do you know any jokes or anything like that? And so and then earlier this year, my father died, and so the show is about that as well. It's about fathers and sons and positive and negative role models, and
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think I'm very much looking forward to doing it. I've talked about it so much, like because I kind of had the idea to do it in the festivals this year, and then I got Tonight Museum head writer job and was like, oh, I'm not going to stress out about doing all the paperwork for
Yeah.
admin for getting a venue. So yeah, so I've been it's been bubbling under for about 12 months now.
Yeah. Right. You're like a Pat Riley. The players
Oh,
mutinied. You come in, slick back hair,
well,
suit.
that was, I do have a bit where I'm like, with the under 10s, it's very funny because I'm now coaching a team. They've played 5 games in total. They've lost all of them.
Yeah.
Like, and it was the first game, 3 minutes to go, the scores was 43-0. And I had a little kid on my team look at the scoreboard and I could see his eyes welling. And I'm like, oh, I'll help him out here. I won't. I'll go, hey, buddy, did you hurt your knee? Is that why you're crying? Did you bump your knee before? It looked like a pretty big bump. Do you want to come and rest? And he goes, I'm not hurt. I just realized we're not going to win. And I'm like, in my heart, I'm like going, mate, I could have told you we weren't going to win 5 minutes before we actually started playing when the other team were actually doing layups and you've got the ball under your top pretending you're a pregnant lady. Like, this is like, this is not what Phil Jackson had to deal with. So, um, yeah, but it is great. And yeah, just going back and thinking about all my old coaches that I had and just how the world was a lot different back in the 80s and 90s, Hammo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who they allowed to yell at children?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about it when you look back on it. If the NBL came knocking, would you leave it all behind?
To play in the NBL
Wow,
or coach?
coach. To
Yes.
play would be amazing.
Well, I was saying this because the other day it was game 5, and I went to the pub with it was a fun crew. It was like Thorno, who's a big Knicks fan,
Mhm.
Scott, who's also a Knicks fan, and Ivana Usagueta, Peter James, and Rama Nichols, who are all big basketball fans.
Mm.
And they're like going, "Oh, do you still play?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, I'm not honestly." If I was Thorno's height, I actually think I would have been in the NBL. And this is a great thing to say as a small man, just going, yeah, the only reason I'm not is because of I got unlucky in the
Yeah,
genetic lottery. Okay.
yeah,
If I was 6'3",
yeah,
put me in there. And I'm
yeah.
sure you feel the same.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that was the only thing that was holding me back.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I had the desire. I was ready to go. I was
yeah.
just a short ass.
Yep. Yeah. And so I'm dealing with that with my kid as well in the under 16s. He's so much shorter than everyone. But he's still our leading scorer. So I'm just showing him like Muggsy Bogues, like
Yeah.
little montage videos, and Jalen Brunson was great for him. Just,
Oh
yeah, you
yeah,
can do it,
yeah.
buddy. You can do it.
Yeah, yeah. Show him the little nuggety players are very good at boxing out. So if he can
Yeah.
stick his caboose into someone and get them out of the way and take rebounds, he'll look like a legend.
Yeah.
I'll let you go, but there was one other album that I wanted to tell you about that
Oh
I
yes.
was listening to, which is the new Ed O'Brien Blue Morpho,
Oh, okay. Yep.
which just came out recently. 38 minutes. Like, I love an album that is what it is.
Yep.
Um, Beautiful textures, and there's a couple of songs where he sounds a little bit like Nick Drake.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really beautiful. And one of those albums that uh, the more I've listened to it, the more it reveals of itself.
Yeah. Now, Ed O'Brien, Radiohead, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I sort of. It's nice that because Tom York does his solo stuff, Johnny Greenwood does a bunch of stuff. It's nice
Yeah,
when the other guys
yeah,
get to showcase. Hey, I'm not just here because I was mates with them at uni.
yeah, yeah. You know what? That's exactly how I felt listening to
Yeah.
it. Going, and you hear things and you go, "Oh, that was you on that song.
Yeah.
That wasn't just the two that I hear about all the time."
Yeah. Because another band I like, The Strokes. So Julian Casablancas wrote all the songs on the first two albums.
Yep,
And then Albert Hammond Jr. released a solo album. And then
yep,
apparently Julian Casablancas was a bit pissed off because he's like, well, fuck, where were you when I needed you to write songs for the band?
right,
And Albert Hammond will tell you, well, you didn't let anyone do anything. It was your thing.
right.
But every single person in the band, apart from one, has released a solo record.
Yeah,
And they're all really great. And you listen to them and go, oh, so that's what you bring to
yeah,
the band. And yeah, I think that band very much, I mean, they're releasing a new album on June 26th,
right.
and which is, I know, because that's my birthday. And
Yep,
for a decade, if you ask me who's my favorite band, I would have said The Strokes.
yeah,
And now they're one of these bands who I'm like, I listen to the new stuff, I'm like going, what happened, guys? What?
right.
Like, there's two new songs that they've released from this new album. One's fine, and one I listened to, I'm like going, this can't be it. This is. And then I saw them play it they played it live on SNL or something like that. I'm like, oh, okay, I get. It makes sense here, but the recording's no good. Like you've got to go back
Right.
and fix that. Um, but it is that thing of going like so. I get it. Bands and people evolve, and what they were into 20 years ago is not what they're into now. And
Yeah.
I've had that with bands like Bell and Sebastian, who
Yep.
I used to love, and now I'm like, this is not for me, and that's fine. But yeah, it's interesting when it's like, oh, the other guys are releasing solo stuff occasionally, and you're like, oh, this is you really like your early stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a band meeting and try and get that stuff back in?
Like I'm not a U2 fan, but I do love that story about I think it was just after, the debacle of Pop and they were jamming and The Edge played something and Bono went, I don't know, it's just too much like what we do. And he was a bit like, I'm The
Yeah,
Edge. That's how I play. This
yeah.
is what we do. And the rest of the band was like, oh yeah, that's right. And sometimes that comes in handy.
There's a Wilco documentary when they've made Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and it didn't get really the label kind of said, oh, there's no hits on it, and then they just toured it around, and then
Mm,
got dropped from the label, but then that label had a sub label that bought it, so they got
mm,
paid twice from the same label for it. And then it went out, and it was a beloved by the critics and people really, and it kind of made Wilco the band that they are.
mm.
But they're recording it, and one of the members is like, "Oh, it's just another what DGA. That's what we do." And Jeff Tweedy's like, "Yeah, that's what I do." Like, yeah, that guy ended up getting kicked out of the band
Yeah.
during that as well. But it was that thing of like going, yeah, sometimes you're like, if you know what you do and you do it well, do that.
Yeah, lean into it. That was I might be the only person in the world who genuinely had a good time at the latest Tron movie because I went and saw it on a cheap Tuesday at IMAX and I just watched it as one big film clip for a Nine Inch Nails soundtrack.
Yep.
And people said, but the story was shit house. I said, there was a story. Like
Yeah.
to me, it was just visuals, and I got to hear the music through really big speakers.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Knows what they're doing. Josh, I'll let you go. Thanks for jumping on the podcast today. What do you have coming up?
So I have my podcast Four Burners, which is out every single Thursday wherever you get your podcasts, and then just shows around. So if you're in Melbourne, I am doing Coach. It's at Comedy Republic on August 8th.
Yep.
6:30, tickets at joshearl.com.au. It is about me being a junior basketball coach, but it's not a it's if you're not a basketball fan, if you know nothing about it, like you'll still there's still a bunch in that like that you'll appreciate.
Yeah, if that's the surface story,
Yeah.
but there's going to be extra layers to it, and
Yeah.
that's just a jumping on point. And you know what? You go along, you don't know anything about basketball.
Yeah.
Maybe you learn something as well.
Yeah. Pick a team.
Pick a team, mate. All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you to Josh Earl for joining me today. Hopefully, we'll get him back on again soon. Uh, I'll keep this brief. We're heading into the weekend, and I hope you have a fun one ahead. I reckon next week we have Garth Jones returning, so we'll be covering some books and graphic novels and stuff that we've been reading of late. And Adam, Richard, and I are going to record a new podcast about the Odyssey. But what we're going to do is we're going to dig into what we've seen in the movie after a couple of viewings. I have a whole new theory on the oeuvre of Nolan's work, culminating essentially in this latest trilogy of movies but I'll save that for the podcast. And lots of other thoughts as well. Maybe we'll even do a ranking of our where we would put all of these movies in a list, because it's always fun to do that, always inspires some sort of chat. So if you are signed up to the newsletter, you can find an email to get in contact with me there, or email me at justinhamiltonpodcast@gmail.com. And let me know what your list is, and we'll do a bit of a comparison. So I'd love to know what your rankings are as well. As I said, if you'd like to sign up for the newsletter, you can do so and be in time to receive this Tuesday's edition. It's free, and you don't have to read it all the time. But, I try to put in stuff there that will hopefully inspire you to go and check out some of the stuff that we've been enjoying. All right, I'm going to get going. It's quite late while I'm working on this, but it's nice to have your company. And, you look after yourselves. Until then.